When I was 22 years old, I was home alone babysitting my baby brother. He was only 7 at the time. My parents had went to go catch a movie, so they would be back late. Me and my baby brother was watching a movie while we were sitting on the couch. I then looked at the front door and could see the front door handle moving, as if someone was trying to break in. I then told my baby brother to go upstairs, lock yourself in my room, and do not open up for nobody, not even me. I then went to check out the front room mirror and could see a group of men outside the house. I then started to grab my phone and begin to call the police. As I was on the phone with the police, I then heard the men say, "We need help." I could look and see these men did not need help. One of the men was holding a knife by his sides. I told the police, which the police then said, "They would be there, just stay calm." After I told the police, the men then started to break down the door. I saw the men kicking at the door. I then grabbed the kitchen knife and ran upstairs. I then shut and locked my parents' door and laid on my parents' bed. I then called my parents and told them that there was a group of men trying to break in. As I heard the front door hit the ground, I then tried to keep my mouth shut and heard the men make their way upstairs. The man banged on the door of the room I was in and said, "Let me in. I'm going to break this room door down." I was so terrified. The room door was broken. I could see the man's shoes as he walked past the bed. Then my worst nightmare came true. The man then pulled me by my legs from under the bed and began to choke me. As I began to try to fight back, the man was too strong. The other man came in and told her to let him go. "We're here for the money." The man started to throw my mom's dresser around, which they made my mom's room look a mess. They then found $30 on my mom's shoebox, which was in the closet. I then tried to make her run, and the guy grabbed me by my hair and said, "Where do you think you're going, young miss?" I tried to fight back. "Let me go, you asshole." The man then threw me into the floor, which I hit my face on the carpet my parents had in their room. After the man started to search the house, I could hear the cop sirens a block away. The man then started to run out the house, but it was too late. The cops had arrived. I then told the men to get on the ground. The man got on the ground. One guy tried to escape and tried to stab a cop, which the cop then opened fire at the men. As I heard gunshots, a police officer then came in and could see and asked if everyone was okay. I then said yeah, and we went to go to my baby room. We seen that my brother was good. I was thankful. My parents then pulled up in my driveway a few minutes after the cops arrested the men. The cops then talked to my parents, and I did my best to explain what happened. My parents were thankful I was okay. Neither my brother was hurt or any pain. Still thinking about it to this day, though, gives me nightmares. Because if the cops did not show up, who knows what these men would have done to me or my baby brother. My name is Peter, and I live alone. You see, I just moved out of my parents' house, and I stay in a sketchy place due to the rent being cheaper. I have only been living here for a couple of months, and I've not had to deal with any problems, at least until now. You see, it was on a Thursday, around 9 a.m. I was going downstairs to make a cup of coffee, until I heard a knock. I then checked the front door to see who was there, and I did not see nobody. I just went back to making my coffee. After about 5 more minutes went by, my girlfriend Kaylee then called me, asking if she can come over. I was off work and had nothing planned, so I said sure. As my girlfriend Kaylee started to make her way to my house, I then heard a break. It sounded like a glass had broken in the attic. I then started to panic and debate on whether or not I was hearing things. I then went to the attic and opened up the hatch and climbed up the ladder. To my surprise, nobody was up there. The window still looked good to me. Now keep in mind, it was early, so maybe my vision was not the best. I shut the attic door and began to go downstairs and get on my laptop to check some emails. After a few minutes went by, I heard some footsteps above me walking. I then started to really panic and debate on whether or not I was going insane or was someone actually in my damn attic. I waited a minute and saw the attic door hatch open. I then knew I was not crazy and began to dial 911. The cops then picked up and asked, "What's your emergency?" I told the police that someone had broken into my house and was looking at them right now. The police said that they would be there shortly and find somewhere to hide. I then got off the phone and looked at the creepy man. He was 6 foot tall and had curly blonde hair. As the man looked at me with drips of snot coming down his nose, I was disgusted. And then the man started to make his way down the stairs. I then told the man, "You stay right there," trying to have a demanding deep voice, but it came out like a kid. The man just kept walking down the stairs, slower, but somehow fast. I then grabbed the kitchen knife and said, "I'm not afraid to use this." I was shaken, and I never killed someone in a day in my life. The words can't describe how paranoid I was at this time, but the man then stopped and looked at me and said, I just want a friend. I was confused and could see that the man had been from prison. At least he had on a prison jumpsuit. And Halloween was not until a year, so this couldn't have been a prank. I then saw my phone begin to ring, which I could see it was my girlfriend, Kaylee. She was here. She was parked outside doing her makeup. I then answered the call and said, "Stay in the car, the police are on their way." Not trying to scare my girlfriend, but warn her, I guess. Anyways, the cops then arrived shortly. The man then was took out of my house handcuffed. The man was an escaped prisoner who was wanted and has been trying to kill people when he would get into their attic. I was honestly just happy that the cops came and arrested this man, because the looks this man was giving me was not friendly looks. I was 17 around when this happened. You see, I was home alone with my friends. It was only me and a couple of friends I had over while my parents had went to the grocery store. Me and my friends then went upstairs and took turns on Warzone. We also played some more games like 2K. Anyways, the time was only 6 p.m. and I heard a knock downstairs. I began to rush downstairs and check to see if my parents were home, but my parents never knocked. If anything, they would call us. I then started to look for my phone to see if my parents had called, but then I remembered. My phone was downstairs on the couch, so I began to run downstairs and grab my phone as I heard through the front door, "We know you're here. Why don't you let us in?" I was shocked that whoever was at my front door was trying to get me to let them in. I then ran upstairs and told my friends to call the police. As I called my parents and told them what is happening, which my parents were in shock and said they would be home shortly. They were getting in the car now. I then waited for my parents to get home as I kept hearing the men at the front door saying, "Let us in." I then peeked out my room window to see if I could identify any of those men. To my surprise, I did not know any of those men and was confused on why they were at the door, demanding for us to let them in. Anyways, my parents then arrived shortly and the men were gone. The cops then arrived too and asked if we had security cameras. We did not have any at that time. The same day, my dad went out to the store and bought some cameras for our house to make our house much harder to break in or try to get away and get caught by the camera. But after helping my dad set up the security cameras, we have not had any active break-ins or any of that. Still to this day, I do not know who those men were or know what those men wanted that day.